Well, folks, it looks like Diddy is in a lot of trouble. I don't know if you guys seen, but TMZ posted about Diddy. So, of course, this is an exclusive. Diddy grand jury digging for dirt in Miami. New subpoena issued. The federal authorities investigating Diddy, possibly getting a criminal indictment against it. The music mogul is chugging along, issuing a new grand subpoena related to a hotel in Florida. So apparently this hotel in Florida has been subpoenaed for guests that have entered, who all was in there. Daphne Joy is also included in this the subpoena. They are asking for every detail, including food service, anything that is related to the rooms that Diddy has stayed in or stayed with someone at this hotel. They are asking for any and all details. Now, we know his house was raided back in, February? And the fact that this is still chugging along tells me that they have a lot and they're digging to make sure they have everything before they pull him in. Now, they are requesting records digging back to 2008. So they're asking for everything from this hotel that has any affiliation with Diddy. So it looks like Diddy's getting ready to go down, but how soon is this going to happen? Will the BET Hip Hop Awards have anybody to attend? Because if Diddy goes down, a lot of people are going down with him. What do you all think? It's another week.
What is happening? What is going on?
So you guys see Diddy. They just got another subpoena for him at this Miami hotel.
Mm-hmm.
And it looks like things are moving along. I mean, here's the thing.
Uh-huh.
The feds aren't going to stay on something this long.
No.
Without...
Oh, they got stuff.
30 years of stuff, apparently.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So a lot of people don't even know where Biggie started and how he got to where he got.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he started as a janitor.
Puffy.
Mm-hmm.
You mean Puffy?
Puffy.
Yeah.
And what's interesting now is that if Biggie didn't pass,
mm-hmm.
he would not be where he is today. I strongly believe he had something to do with Pac.
Yeah.
And Biggie.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of history there. So, like, going back, he started out, he was going to school in D.C. I believe it was D.C.
Mm-hmm.
Then he was coming to New York. He became an intern with, was it Uptown Records?
Mm-hmm.
There was an interesting story with the people that he came up with, Andre Harrell, Albie Shore, Heavy D at that time. And I want to say one more. I want to say Kim Porter maybe too. Everybody's dead except Albie Shore, and all of them was writing books.
All of them. All of them was writing books. And the way Kim Porter passed, it was just too... It was not enough answers, too many what?
Yeah.
And Diddy got some dirt.
But hey, Albie Shore did get sick. Yeah, so he would have been gone too. So it's something interesting where you see the people all around you is dropping.
Like flies.
Yeah.
And Chick Knight's in prison for whatever amount of time he's in there. So it seems like everybody around him has been silenced. And you know he's had allegedly police and stuff like that on payroll.
Yeah. But even going back to Bad Boy, and you know, everything in those days was like, I think of it like a pyramid, you know, and the higher you go up the food chain, you know, that's where you got the more clout, the closer you were to power, you know, at that time.
Right.
Versus now it's more like...
It's a little more leveled.
Yeah.
But that's since music started coming out of the South. And I feel like the North is trying to do a comeback now.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I think we've diversified music a lot more too, because even now you're hearing, like around that time Beyonce came out with Baby Boy, she really introduced Sean Paul, because up until that, Sean Paul was really not anyone, you know, so when you start thinking that, then she kind of introduced real reggae, not dancehall, into our genre.
Yeah. So so having that mix up of different cultures, so that did bring the kind of New York dynasty to kind of a level playing field.
Right. When you, I mean, because think about it, everything was coming out of New York. Everything. I mean, that's how Wendy Williams really made it. Like every artist was coming straight out of up top.
Yeah.
You know, I remember getting on the train and running into Jadakiss. You know, like that was a regular thing for us. You know, like it wasn't abnormal to run into, you know, a pop artist or a hip hop artist. Whereas now it's more diverse. They're coming out of California. They're coming out of, you know, I remember the era when, what is it? You could do it all by yourself.
Was that Lean With It, Rock With It? Is that
Lean With It, Rock With It? That's when I went to college in Atlanta.
Yeah, okay.
I remember I had never seen anything like that before. When you would go into a club, and it's like a dance recital.
Oh yeah.
And I mean, they're like Lean With It, Rock With It. Like, they're not doing that in New York. Everybody's doing their own thing.
Yes.
Right?
I remember Miami was Two Live Business back.
Yes.
So yeah, no, you're right.
That was very different for me. And New York has always been. I feel like when it comes to music, and I know a lot of people might feel differently, but I feel like New York has always been the end all be all.
Yeah.
And that's when the best music was coming out of New York.
Because it was real, it was live, it was fresh. Everybody copies off of what New York did. They have their own spin to it. But
it came out of, you know, and so it's interesting to kind of see even the change, you know. But Diddy has such a long history, and I'm going to be honest, I think he has a lot of bodies. I think he's caught a lot of bodies that he personally didn't handle. But he paid somebody, alleged.
How many of his artists are no longer with us or are in financial ruin in some kind of way? I told you, they always go after your pockets.
And the way they be doing, and the fact that Bieber might get caught up in this?
Not Bieber.
Not Diddy went down and messed around in the daycare.
Yeah. He was up in
because he was mentoring Bieber. When you really think...
Did he mentor Usher?
And I'm going to tell you something. I think this is going to go down in a very serious way. And I think R. Kelly was the beginning of it. I think that was the first one that went down and everybody else going to go down.
Yeah. R. Kelly was hard because a lot of people didn't want to believe. It was like all this good music.
Yes, ma'am.
What we gonna do? What we gonna rap to?
I'm gonna be honest with you. If R. Kelly come on, I'll be bopping to it. But a part of me just be like,
yes.
Is this illegal?
Yes. It's so wrong.
A part of me is like,
yeah. Because you got a daughter now, so it's like
you like something about this just seemed a little illegal.
But it's funny how messed up we are, because back then we'd be like, getting into a party, you know,
yeah, you know, he the man though, like, yeah. I mean, because you think about it, R. Kelly's another one that brought stepping.
Yes.
That was a totally different genre.
He represented a whole city.
Yes, that was a totally different genre.
Yeah.
So it's like there was so much coming into the mix of things, and that's a whole nother city that was coming from not out of New York. So it was something that threw a little bit of a mix in there.
Right. And people from all ages loved him.
Oh yeah.
So
he was I mean, hell, you would go to like family reunions, family weddings, and they stepping.
Yes.
And to just think of, but I knew the music industry was corrupt when I went to college. And the reason why I say that is when I got to Atlanta, and that was like right when music started shifting into the South, right? And Atlanta at that time was still kind of green.
Yeah.
You know, was still like suburbs, just kind of like, you know, kind of getting there. Like the biggest thing in Atlanta was the AUC, you know, HBCUs.
Yeah.
And it wasn't really much more.
Okay.
But when music started coming hard out of Atlanta, it started being infiltrated with drugs. That's when Usher started really making his comebacks. Right? R. Kelly had a house right there in Atlanta.
I'm thinking, you know, they got some of the best strip clubs too, because you know, with the drugs.
Oh, well, Atlanta, let me tell you something. And I'll tell you this, because I went to a couple with my friends.
Yeah.
The strip clubs in Atlanta are like clubs.
Oh, yeah.
Like, they're not like regular, that's not, you go in there to dance, party, drinks.
Yeah.
Like, it's not like every other place where you go, like they're literally going to just throw dollars.
Right.
Like, it's not like that.
Yeah.
And as a straight woman, it was a fun vibe.
It's a whole experience.
Yeah, no, Atlanta clubs, when it comes, Magic City, the way they talk about Magic City, it's for real.
Yes, yes. And I grew up in Connecticut, so coming out and I'm seeing this stuff for the first time, like,
oh yeah.
Oh, y'all doing it like that.
All-Star Weekend in Atlanta.
Girl.
Baby.
Yes.
Freaknik.
Oh.
Child.
Woo. Yeah.
That is wild.
Yeah. Mine was Daytona Beach in Florida. It was insane.
When you think about stuff like that, girl, do you know how much I really think to myself, we were not safe. When they say God looks out for dummies and babies.
And you
they ain't never lied, because I've done a lot of foolishness in my lifetime that I'm like, that's strange that I'm here to tell the story.
I am thankful to be here, okay? Because I got into some stuff. All right? I used to just disappear. Thank God I'm here. But yeah, you're right. We really used to get into like stuff.
Yeah.
You know.
I mean, even just think about growing up in New York City. You took the bus and the train. You could have been kidnapped at any time.
I always tell my daughter we were the test dummies for a lot of stuff.
Facts, big facts.
Because you're not letting your kids just walk to the train no more. You're not doing that.
I'm not even letting her walk to the mailbox right here.
I'm watching on the camera. Make sure you come back. We were, I think we're...
And we didn't have no phones.
Phone? What phone?
iPad
House
never
phone.
existed.
House phone. You call your friend. That's it.
Like, when you really think about, and I think the world was just as bad as it is now. It just wasn't, you know, we didn't have social media like that, right?
Yes.
So a lot of things weren't broadcasted the way they are now.
Yeah. But I think during that time period where things were just kind of like open and free, and you came into, you came out your mama house, and now you're into these new worlds and all this other stuff. It was really the breeding ground for you to get involved with things, because you felt like you had to do certain things. Not saying
right.
Bust it wide open, but you were introduced to a lot of stuff to say, this is the life that you could be living, and these are the people that you should be hanging out with.
And I think growing up in New York City is even, when you think about it, it's even worse because it's the fashion capital, right?
Yeah.
You're introduced into the flyest clothes, people that come out of New York, their style is very different.
And listen, what did Biggie say? We was trading in them Hondas.
Man.
Okay? You needed to trade in your Honda. Get that upgrade, all right? So that's what you were striving for.
Yeah, and that was the thing. Like when somebody, and I grew up in one of the highest middle class Black communities in the nation at the time, right? But I really lived to go visit my cousins in the Bronx. Yeah. Or Brooklyn, because it was more alive.
Yes, absolutely.
Think about it. When you come outside of someone's apartment complex in New York City, music is bumping.
Yeah.
No matter where you're going, music is bumping. That's not the life here.
Yeah.
Right? Like, music was our entire lives. And that's why I think, you know, Biggie and Diddy, like they were such a thing for us, like Tupac, like because that was all we heard.
Yeah, but you have to understand, we came from 70s, right? Disco, so on 80s, hip hop started coming out. We started to now feel like, okay, we got our two tables and a microphone.
Yes.
And 90s is really where we capitalized on all of that.
Yes, because
so it was a whole vibe.
It was. Yeah. It was a whole vibe. And you got to think, in the midst of that, Wendy Williams was popping. Now, let me tell you, when I first knew Wendy Williams was the real deal, is when she said she seen Beyonce in a club. I remember I used to listen to 105.1 WBLS. And Wendy Williams said, y'all don't know it yet, but Beyonce and Jay-Z finna be together.
Let me tell you.
And at the time, they weren't even mingling. As soon as she said that, less than a year later, I said, damn,
how she knows?
She cold. She's cold. And everything she had said after that, I was like, Wendy's that chick. Like, how does she know?
I'm thinking as you're talking, a lot of careers were made out of, you know, being a stylist. A black stylist. Hairstylist.
Yes. A lot of careers came out of that. And elite, not on like base level. You know?
Like you're traveling. You know what I mean? You're getting to know, you rubbing it. I used to go to a lot of industry parties at that time. And the people you see on the TVs and the videos, you sit next to the table.
Yeah, it's a regular day.
It's just regular. So, you know what I'm saying? And the point is that Diddy was really at the helm and the pulse of a lot of that.
And I'm going to tell you this. If Biggie was still alive today, Diddy would not have made it up the chain as fast as he did. And he would have not, he wouldn't be who he is today. If Tupac and Biggie were here, it wouldn't go this way.
Yeah. He was
so, and I think he has, I don't know to what level.
Because I know a majority of his artists came out and complained about the contracts, the deals that they were in, and then you just really didn't hear nothing else about it.
They boof, gone.
That was it. You know, that one album.
Right. That was it. Because that's all he needed from Biggie. And I'm telling you, I have a feeling when the feds really like start spilling tea, there's stuff that's going to come back out that's going to really blow some wig caps back.
Yeah, because at some point in time, you know, it's not just, you can't really have an empire just on album sales. So it's a lot more you got to sell.
Well, yeah. That's when drugs came into play. They was out here doing, I mean, because pimping was a big thing at that time, too.
Yeah. And listen, you're not going to just let people come into your space and make money off of it. You're going to make sure, as a businessman, you're going to have your hands in everything. You make some money off of it. So.
Yeah, because Diddy got way too much money for it to just be music. You only getting a portion of it, and he had a lot of ghostwriters. Let's be honest about that.
Let's be honest, you know. Well, Shook said he dancing in videos. You know, you got to be doing a little bit more than that with all that money. So, yeah. I think that, and I think this is with everything. You have your public persona, but you have the stuff you really doing behind the scenes, you know? And then we, of course, because it was a cultural wave, it was a movement, everybody is attracted to it, but the people who got into it, it's like a fishbowl. It's nice to look at it, you're like, oh man, it's so pretty, whatever, but when you get in it,
even Whitney Houston said it.
You're drowning. You can't breathe.
And that's the thing, is that I think a lot of other artists, it was hard to cope. Everybody wants to be famous until they see being famous is not what it's cracked up to be.
At what cost do you want to be famous?
And the thing is, when you are famous, you have to have boundaries. And you have to be very clear about your boundaries. And, you know, because if you don't have your boundaries up front, people immediately know that they could cross those boundaries.
Well, the thing is, too, you got to remember, when you're hungry,
Yeah. You'll do anything to
that boundary get a little shaky.
Yeah.
Because if that check is going to feed my family and get us about that hot apartment complex that we sitting in right now, that housing complex, city housing complex.
But I think some of these new artists, like, as much as, people have issues with Cardi B, I think when you think about these new artists, Cardi B has had boundaries. She may not have had boundaries with men the way I think she should have, right? But she has really shown what it's like to have a certain amount of boundaries.
Oh yeah. But you got to be built for that.
But you have to be built for that, yes. And I think that is something that 90s music was really lacking because, coming out of New York, this somebody that just made it out the projects just became this big artist. It's like the hood loved them.
You were a hood hero.
Yeah, because you came from something that we never thought would happen.
All them big entourages?
Yes. All them entourages. And it wasn't just for the regular public. No, that was for the people around the block.
You gave everybody a job.
Yeah, because your cousin on your payroll.
Yep.
Your auntie and them on the payroll. Everybody's on the payroll.
TT and them can braid hair, put her on the payroll, So it was a time period where you can easily buy and sell.
Yes. And it's not like that now. Like you said, it's a little more leveled ground.
More
you
hustle,
can't get away. It's more hustle, but you also can't get away with the things that they could get away. Because when you think about the way, when the 90s music came, it wasn't that long after the crack epidemic.
Right, correct.
That's part of what the music came from, right? Because a lot of people were singing about not having their dads around, like not having certain things around. Like, so when you think about it, that was part of it. Like that was part of the culture. Yeah. Right. I feel like a lot of people didn't realize how prevalent it was because it looked nice.
Well, if you go back in history, a lot of the hip-hop music industry was built on drug money.
Oh yeah, I mean it's known for that. Yeah.
So the drug dealers were actually paying for the rappers, and they're, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, like, a lot of them owned like these production companies. A lot of them were like ghostwriters. Because
like 80s, you weren't going to the music industry to get the money. You went to the local drug dealer to get the money.
Yes.
So you could start these things up, and you had your party.
And then you in debt to him.
Yeah.
So you forever in debt to that one person.
Yeah.
You're absolutely right. It was definitely very different.
Yeah. And so it's like you took something that started somewhere, but you just kind of put an extra layer over it. And
then, like, too, what was kind of going on is, like, these cops around the block were on payroll. You know what I'm saying? You had the police department. They on payroll. That was a lot of it. And I think that's a lot of what happened with Diddy. I think Diddy has, things are falling apart now because of the people that he did have in place. And some of these people, they retire. They pass away. Yeah. And then things start not making sense to the next person. Yeah. They're not being paid. Yeah. So they're kind of like, well, what's going on, boy? Yeah. But also, too, I think it's a shame that the women that are coming out, with Cassie, they have another young lady I was listening to that came out. It's a shame that so much has had to happen to them, but it's taken so long for them to have a voice to say, hey, this is what was really happening to us. Because we're quick to blame, like, well, you were in that role and you allowed them to pass you around or whatever, but people didn't understand the grooming. And the pressure. Yeah. When you're dealing in that industry, most people want to be accepted, right? And so when you're young and you're impressionable, you'll go to great lengths to be accepted. And, most women were raised to be people pleasers. And when it comes to like drug dealers and rap artists and hip hop artists and them all being mixed in that industry, that's the ones that beat their women. They're the ones that are demanding. They're the ones. And so it kind of comes with the territory. And they sang a lot about it.
Yeah.
Like, when you really listen to their music, they've said it all.
Queen Latifah came out as some, who you calling a bitch?
Yeah.
You know, like, it was just part of the culture. But I thought about that today when I saw this news article. This one lady, she was a go-go dancer, but he pretty much put her on the stroll. Like, you worked for him, you did favors for him, and she's one of the people that's suing. But how many years did you have to go through that and not really say anything because you were working with Diddy, or you were affiliated with Diddy? You know, you were just pretty much passing.
And because he had bodies under his belt, you don't want to move too far to the left because you don't know what's gonna happen.
You saw that whooping that Cassie got, so you're not gonna tell me that just happened that one day and they just happened to catch that on camera. That was happening regularly. Okay, so you was gonna keep your mouth shut. And if I pass you off to my client,
yeah, you don't have to deal with it.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's gonna go down.
Yeah. So yeah, it is. It's a shame. It's a shame, and this is why we gotta really watch out for our kids in terms of what you feel is the glitz and the glam, because underneath the surface, this is what the stuff that's really going on.
Well, I think Whitney Houston really showed people it's not what it's cracked up to be.
Yeah.
Because her life was, I feel like she was as transparent as possible. And not necessarily intentionally, but more because she was just struggling.
Yeah.
She was struggling big time.
Yeah.
Whitney struggled so bad. And the sad part about it is people put her on this pedestal where they didn't allow her to be human. So, when she spoke out her struggles, or even her daughter, like her daughter literally grew up with her.
Yeah.
Bobby Christina faced a lot of things that she shouldn't have, but it was kind of like Bobby Christina was her best friend. That was the person that she knew loved her.
Yes. Yep.
And it was a struggle for her.
Yep. Yep.
And outside of the industry, like, can you really trust people in the industry? No, because her own daddy did her wrong. And could you imagine still having to go on and sing your heart out, knowing that
you've been bought?
A lot of these artists have faced a lot of things.
Yeah. Listen, I give kudos because if I'm not in the mood, I'm not performing tonight. Like, that's all I am.
Like,
I'm not doing it.
Yeah. And when you think about it, they didn't have any options.
You got a tour for majority of the year. I'm tired. Can I take a night off? No, you can't, because you in the contract. Yeah, and the tours is where they're making their money, because they're not making their money off of the albums like that. So yeah, it's like I said, he lived in a world 30 years now. What? Yeah. Like, he really ran. He was shots. Deep in. Yeah. He's ran it for so long. Yeah. Until. When Kim Porter passed, I feel like people really knew. Something won. Yep. What's her name? What's her good friend? Fat Farm.
Kamora Simmons.
She was.
She went through some stuff too.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
She went through some stuff too. And she's made it look glitz and glam. I think she's tried to be transparent, but she treads lightly because. But her daughters are kind of following and I feel like they're trying because they're getting their educations and stuff. But you seen where Inoki was with that older guy?
No, I didn't see that.
He was like 60 or 50, late 50s. The girl caught on the beach making her way, and they was like, I was like, ooh, child, get the bag, but child, not you out here with your daddy and mom. Like, better be a hell of a bag. They said the man owns like a multi-millionaire, like well into the mills, not, like before the 50 mils. Like, we talking about 70-something mil. Baby. But that's the thing. She done watched that with her mama. And a lot of people don't realize like where these people came from and what kind of was going on with them, that they kind of felt that way. And you know, allegedly, when you see how Russell has really handled his kids, you know, things like that happen. Like that's why it's so important for dads to really show their kids what it's like to have love without anything extra. Just loving you for being my child.
Yeah. Because Biggie said what he said in one of his songs. Provide for his kids so she don't have to need no man, you know, like but that's wow, because she watched her dad, she watched Russell,
and I mean, when you think about it, you're watching even before Instagram and TikTok came out. What was it? The magazines. What do you see in the magazines? When you think about, ask yourself right now, what do you see as success? And most of us, our definition of success is what we have seen.
Double XL, you know, you wanted to be that girl with a booty out, you know.
You know,
success.
like that's what, you know, it's been money, and it's been living in luxury and having the finest things, and you know, having the power, because you know, like Biggie said, it's money, power, respect. You know, like when you kind of think about it in that aspect, you know, things have really changed in the industry. Things have changed significantly in the industry.
Because you got to see who really had the power.
Child.
And then when you had no
Biggie's
money.
death was like, I mean, who didn't love Biggie? Girl. Biggie came on the scene and was like, you don't gotta be fly. Like, I could have a swag and I could talk my stuff, but I'm real.
He really changed a lot.
He changed. You know, now we got people like 50 Cent. When 50 Cent was the it thing, I mean, 50's like a chick. And I know he's probably going to have an issue with what I'm saying, but bro, you be acting like my aunties in there.
He said aunties in there.
In the projects, getting mad. In Brooklyn. Popping they stuff.
Trolling people.
He be trolling hard body.
That's too funny.
Allegedly.
Girl,
you know, when you think about it, like, you know, Biggie was like, I'm that dude.
Yeah.
You know, like when you think about that. And you know, one thing I thought was interesting about Tupac, I don't know if you know this, but his mom was borderline Black Panther. She was Black Panther.
She was.
And so he was very, not borderline, y'all. I'm gonna take that back. That's why when you really listen to Tupac's music, he really spoke on the system. He shed a lot of light on the things that were going on, but he did it in a way that the hood understood.
But he also, I forgot what school, because he went to school with Jada Pinkett. And he had, it's like, to me, he had that softer side, that poetic side.
He did. And which was the interesting part about his, I think in a way with his music, he was sort of an activist.
But I think that he had the thug persona because that's what would
work. That's what the industry wanted. If he didn't have that, they didn't want that. But he was raised by his mama.
So I think honestly, if he lived, he would have put that back.
I think we'd have seen so many other things from him. I think Tupac was that was a great loss. Like that to the industry. I feel like if he was here today, could you imagine what he would have been pouring back into the community?
Right. He had a great sensitivity to understand the culture, what's going on, and he could speak into,
and he was real. He was transparent.
And people will listen.
Yes.
You know, and not everybody
people respected him. He was definitely a great loss.
I just think that whole thug thing is just because that's what was
going on. Diddy ain't thug. Like, you know, he tried to play it, but Diddy is soft.
He hiding behind other people. Come on.
Yeah, I mean, look, when they raided his house, he left his kids there. The fact that you left your kids there, and I'm going to be honest with you, I think when he goes down, the concern is going to be, is his boy's going to go down with him.
I saw something, I didn't read it, but the daughter stopped talking to him, I believe. I think so. I think the daughters.
I wouldn't be surprised. Kim Porter, they know something's up.
Not my mama. You don't do that to my mama.
And they look just like her.
Listen, them little girls he had walking through them house about the same age as his daughter. So that's weird.
That's a whole nother thing. It's the level of.
That's real weird.
But you know who? This is all alleged.
Mm-hmm.
But what Brown said, ain't no party like a Diddy party. So that makes you wonder about LeBron too. I'm telling you, a lot of people gonna go down with this. It's gonna be dirty.
Yeah. There's a whole world that we don't really.
Yeah, it's gonna be like Epstein Island.
You gotta be invited to that world, honey.
Oh yeah, no, for real, invites only.
And a lot of people they got a peek, and they went running the hell back to their own world because they was like, Diddy over there touching people.
Yeah, because you heard what that boy said when they was right at his house. He said, Diddy be touching people.
He said he be touching people. He said,
and what I think is interesting is Kim Kardashian, she got some dealings in there. I think that's another one that's going to go down big with this.
Ooh, I haven't heard about her.
No, she got some dealings with this. At one point, she was like his right-hand man. Oh, I'm telling you, this finna go down in a way that when the feds come spin the block and start picking folks up, child.
Well, Diddy was next to Clive Davis. I mean, who gets any higher?
Right.
So your spread is, he went from New York streets to worldwide. So
I think it happened so fast for him. That's where he lost the control.
Imagine what he had to do to get that.
Because I heard he was doing some change or a little bit of change with Clive Davis, baby. I don't know. This is all alleged, but child.
Little secret meetings. What were you doing?
But I've heard similar things about Jazzy Faye. How Nicki Minaj got up to the top. And you got to think, I went to college in Atlanta during that time, so you know there was a lot of talks.
Yeah. She didn't get that booty for nothing. I mean, you gonna go to work. So
I heard Jazzy Faye is a wild boy.
Wow.
You know how many college girls he used to try to get to go to his little parties and stuff? I was like, whose party? No. I'm finna stay in the dorm. I'm good, love.
Listen, that's why watch your kids.
Coming from New York, you know about all that.
Yeah.
So when you think about it coming, like when you start sending your kids to these hot cities, because Atlanta's still hot, you got to be very careful.
That time period, I was in Miami, so being around the football players and stuff, it's the same thing.
And Miami's a wild place.
It's the same thing. So, and yeah, you're absolutely right.
Miami, Atlanta, New York, LA, those were the spots.
I seen some things, girl.
I already know. You can't tell me nothing.
Okay.
You can't tell me nothing. I know.
I'm in the club clutching my pearls. I thought I was wild. All right. No, ma'am.
You was like, I thought my skirt was a little short.
Okay. Me a good little Christian girl coming out there. I'm like, oh,
child. We just stopped going to Sunday school like a year ago.
Yo, I mean, New York was wild, but it was wild.
The industry it's going to be very interesting to see.
And what was funny too with that, where people get indicted with this whole thing, it's not like, say it's you the star, but it's the people, your handlers around you also
trying to get talking.
And they're trying to get the girls in there too.
Oh yeah,
because they trying to get something for themselves too.
Everybody,
you know what I mean? So like that's what you see, like because you affiliated.
And think how much money was flowing to them parties
and drugs. Drugs, some good drugs down in Miami. Yeah, it's a lot.
But just imagine when they start catching some of these people.
Yeah.
J-Lo, another one that I think is going to get bagged with this.
Yes, I heard about that too. Yeah, I heard about J-Lo.
J-Lo's going to get bagged with this too.
I think there was talk about.
Why you think Ben Affleck? Ben Affleck already was like, wait, hold up, y'all say what?
not my Jenny.
I'm about to head over to the left real quick.
I'm about to get on
I'm
up out
about
of here.
to serve you with these divorce papers real quick, child.
Yeah.
Ben Affleck knew what was up because he didn't heard. He didn't know about none of that because he didn't know about that level of industry. That wasn't the same industry for him.
And she was coming up in her music career at that time too. So, you wasn't wearing them long dresses with your boobies out.
So she's another one that I think is gonna get caught up with this.
Yeah, I think the question was the statute of limitations with her, but yeah.
I think when it comes to the feds, and if there's any bodies attached with it, which I've heard there are, it ain't gonna be none. And let me tell you something, they will find a way to get her, or they'll get her to talk. That's the thing. It's like a lot of these people are gonna start talking because they only trying to get the big man, and when they start digging 30 years, their hotel. That hotel that they're requesting, that they subpoena, they asking for records back to 08.
Yeah.
08. They are saying, we want room service.
Yeah.
We want everything that was built, who was there, who checked in, who checked in with that person, every food delivery that came there, the food deliverer's name.
Girl, it's crazy. Yeah.
Any meetings held in any rooms, we want that. They want to know the payment form.
Yeah.
They are literally saying, we digging into you.
Yeah. Girl.
And when they start subpoenaing the hotel ain't gonna be able to, whatever Diddy trying to tell them, they gonna be like, look, honey, I heard what you said you was trying to do, but what I'm not trying to do is get myself caught up in perjury.
No, because that Cassie video, hey, that didn't just pop up for no reason. So.
And you see, Daphne Joy was brought up in that subpoena. That makes you wonder. A lot of these female artists that are coming up, I feel like they're going to have a story to tell.
Listen, Jaguar Wright been saying it for the longest. And everybody been saying she crazy or whatever because they want to shut her up. She's been talking for the longest. And everybody talking about she crazy. I don't think she crazy.
No, a lot of them ain't crazy. Just like they talk about Kanye's crazy. He's off. The man ain't all the way right, but he a lot of the stuff he says, I even think it's funny when people say they talk about the stuff he says currently, and I'm like, if you really listen to Kanye's music, he always spoke about him being in the industry, right? And he always said, no matter what, I'm still this black man in the Benz. Right, like he spoke on that. So for people to really think he flipped, no, he's giving the people what he thinks they want to try to get what he wants.
Yes, girl.
It's all a strategy. I mean, why do you think when he said to them, "Okay, you're not gonna get me off of these contracts. I'm gonna act the plumb fool." You gonna take me off these contracts, whether you gonna volunteer or involunteer. I'm gonna force you to take me off these contracts. Do you think he was doing that for fun? No, he said, "I run the show. You're not finna tell me how this gonna go."
When you said plumb fool, he
said fool activated. Like he already
was he on stage with like a bag over his head?
Yeah, like he knew the game he was finna play.
Yeah.
Like he's never been a fool. That man is a very smart man, and I think a lot of people underestimate him. They look at exactly what they see, but there's always a story behind that. Because even when you think about it, even like his dating events, like it was for him to get into certain spaces. Like he was playing chess, still is. Even when he came out with the whole gospel thing. He was trying to get into a space that he knew what would get people, I mean, think about Black China too. when she did that whole, oh, I'm taking all this out my body, and she did that first Sunday, she was in front of the cross and did this whole hoopla. It was, you know, a photo shoot. Nobody gonna do that on that's a show. But she figured that's the way I'm gonna have to get myself back into this industry, but on the safe side.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
You know, like all of it is a these people ain't.
I think when you go deep enough in the rabbit hole, and you literally have the devil's balls hanging in front of you, you gonna figure out another strategy.
I'll tell you another one that's gonna get caught up is Black China.
You gonna figure something else out.
She low man on the totem pole. She thinks she's somebody because she has that Kardashian's baby, but she's about to get caught up too because I've heard some stuff about her too. That's why you seen her at the church trying to do all that stuff.
Girl.
Because she got some dirt going on too. Diddy gonna get a lot of these people caught up in some stuff. Y'all gonna be sitting there like, wait, you know, y'all done said this. Just wait. The fact that TMZ just reported on this subpoena, I think it's coming close.
Oh, yeah.
I think it's like 8 centimeters down.
Oh, yeah. This is what the attorney, I heard her say. I don't know. I can't tell you exactly when it's coming, but it's coming.
Oh, yeah.
So,
it's 8 centimeters dilated. I think it's due by Christmas.
Yeah.
I think it's, I mean, what Cat Williams said, and we got to find that clip and put it in here. He said, what? All deviants are exposed in 2024. Like, and he meant that. Yeah. He said, I don't care who. TD Jakes, all of them.
Everybody. But it's funny, the photo of Diddy, he looks stressed.
Oh, yeah.
Out.
He got to be. Because back even when what was that party he was at back in December, I want to say November, he looked like he was waiting on his daddy to come downstairs with a belt. You remember that video?
Yes.
But he was like looking around. He was like, like he couldn't even. And then Flavor Flav came down, wouldn't even say a word to him.
He's like, I'm not touching that.
Yeah, Flav said, I don't get down like that.
Diddy ain't got the keys to the city no more.
I don't want no parts of that.
You know,
like when you think about that type of stuff. It's gonna go down in a way that people are not expecting, and it's. I think this is going to really shake up the music industry on a whole. Yeah. It's
almost like a empire or a dynasty going down.
Yeah, it's scary to watch. You know, it's
like literally the end of an era.
Man, and it was an era that a lot of people didn't see the behind the scenes. They seen the front scenes. Yeah, and you know, like when you think about music, then it's funny when you always hear your uncles and aunts and grandparents saying music was good then. And I feel like as I got older, I really understood that because, you know, when you think about what we were saying, there was always some meaning behind it, right? Yeah. And what are we singing about now?
I was in the car the other day with my daughter, and I'm asking her, what are they saying? I have to turn to some gospel music because I said, my mind, I can't. I need something to soothe me because I don't understand.
It was a different, you know, one of the songs that are going viral on TikTok right now is "You Owe Me Back," like you owe your rent. You owe me back like 40 years because I spent. When I heard that, I said, "Ooh, that's so." Classic. I remember being in a club.
Classic.
And I just hearing that. It just, I was like, wow, it is totally a different era. Yeah. It's crazy to watch, and it's sad to see it go down like that. But I feel like we do have some really good memories as far as the music that we will always be able to. And you also think about too when it even came to our movies, our music was so involved in that
because it was the soundtrack of our lives.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you know, even think about that Ice Cube song. You can do it. Put your back into it. Put your back into it. That whole
soundtrack. Yeah.
Save the Dance. It was all around that song.
Yeah. But you have to remember too, that was before a time of everyone's online now and social media. We met at the club.
Right. It wasn't an online dating type of thing. It was. I mean, we had the AOL chat room.
Why be
that
there
was
when
ghetto as hell.
you could
Now,
go,
when you think about it, do you know how many people I would talk to in those AOL chat rooms? I should have been missing. I should have went missing. Like, I know that my mom prayed for me plenty of days as to why I'm alive today.
Yeah.
After you watch Dateline, you like, damn, so I was all willy-nilly talking about meet me on Jamaica Avenue. I go to such and such school.
Scary stuff.
Like, when you think about that in your mind, you be like, damn, I was wild.
Yeah,
when they say, God, look out for babies and dummies. Girl. One thing I will tell you is that is very true. And I know my mom has had lots of prayers for me, because if she didn't have them prayers,
you wouldn't be sitting here.
I'm telling you, the way I was on AOL Hard Body, I should have been missing. Ain't no way. Like, it's really like, ooh, God really looked out for me on another level.
Innocent.
It's scary when you think about it, because you just don't know.
You telling them, yeah, I'm home alone.
Right. Like, my mom, I don't go to school this week, and my mom leaves for work at this time. You giving them your house phone number? They can look that up in the yellow pages. Like,
you done told them the cross street to your house already.
Right.
So.
They literally could watch you just walk home from the bus stop and just swipe you right up. Like, when I think about stuff like that, I'm like, I was OD tripping.
Yes. But it was fun, though. It was exciting.
That's what makes you look at your kids different, because you be like, I know the BS I was up to. And if it's anything like what I was up to, child, you cannot leave this house.
Not at all. Because I know, child. I know. So I'm like, no, don't take no chances. I was taking chances.
I feel like I'm happy I live in the suburbs.
Yeah.
Because the way that New York City living was. All you had to say was the bus broke down.
Girl.
It took me 2 hours extra to get home today, Mom.
It was rough out there.
Yeah. People was fighting. I had to watch.
Yeah. It's true.
Nothing happened. You just out here parlaying at your friends'
because you hanging on the block.
Yeah.
Why are you going to go in that hot house? You could be out on the block hanging out. Like, the action was on the street.
Yeah.
It's not like that now.
We're not trying to be in the house.
Not at all.
Yeah. 10 o'clock hit, it's time to get up and get dressed. It's Saturday. We need to be out here in these streets.
Yes. So, girl, like 10 o'clock, you pregame.
Yeah.
You now going to go head out. I mean, party don't start jumping till 1, 2, so.
Right. That's what was so different about moving to the South, too. The clubs closed at 2.
Yeah, it's weird. That
was wild to me, because I was like, in New York, you partying until 6, 7 o'clock in the morning. The clubs ain't closing until what, 6?
You leave and go and get breakfast afterwards. But
At the after hours spot?
Yeah.
Like, I thought that was, when coming to the South, I was like, wow, everything closed. And at that time, 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning was early to me.
Yes.
Now, they shutting stuff down even earlier because of so much stuff going on. So it's really the after hours spots which is where the drugs and all that other stuff come into play.
Okay. Ooh.
That's movie Superfly. That is every bit of Atlanta. Like, I feel like that was the perfect description of Atlanta, to the point that's why violence is so high in Atlanta.
Okay.
When hip hop started coming out of the South, it came straight out of Atlanta, and that's when it was like drugs. That's when you'd see these brothels. Wow. Money was flowing in and out of Atlanta like crazy, and they would get them girls out of these colleges.
Oh, girl. They don't understand they've been passing girls around.
Yeah, and when you think about the industry on a whole, it makes you really look at the world in a different.
And when I say this, like, cause I'm from the Caribbean, I've traveled a lot in the Caribbean. Like, they pass them around very frequently, and control your passport, and you're thinking you're going down for one thing, and
it's a whole nother thing. And where that's known for now is Dubai. They be getting these girls off Instagram, getting them out to Dubai. And these princes and stuff be doing the exact same thing. So it's just taking place somewhere else. It's still happening.
Yeah. And you think it's totally normal. Through the colleges, big time through the colleges. So yeah.
Yeah, big time, because it's all the girls that they know are going to school for, like, to become something. It's to distract them so they don't become that.
Pay for your books.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. Maybe even Players Club in the 90s.
Yeah.
That's why, she was out there stripping, because she had to work her way through school.
Yeah, and that's the way how they kind of like just squeeze you into it. And then it's like you get exposed more and more. And like the way you've seen things turn out.
Yeah.
It's interesting to say the least. And even Cardi B spoke about, how she got into the industry and how she was able to kind of like maneuver her way through. Cardi B was a very strong, mentally strong person, so she knew what her game plan was and she was sticking to it. Yeah. But when you see all the lights and cameras and actions, it's distracting. So a lot of these chicks you'll hear, and they, a lot of them, these rappers met in college. Yeah. And then you hear they don't get their degree. Why?
Start that rap album. Mm-hmm. They start their label.
Right.
So.
And they're backup dancers. They're on the, and that's kind of what happened with the industry. When you look at it, it's been a wild ride. Mm-hmm. So this is, like you said, it's a dynasty going down. It's going to be very, very interesting.
Yeah. Yeah. It sure is.
It's sad.
It's sad. It's needed.
And even to see Wendy Williams, like, not coherent enough to even, she would have spilled the tea. You know how much stuff we would have already known. Wendy would have told the tea, child, because Wendy would tell you something that I know my hair would go like that.
Yeah.
I just know Wendy would say something, you'd be like,
No, for real. No, we do miss
Might be, because Wendy ain't never lied to us, child.
No, for real. But this is my thing too. That goes down, and it's what else is to come, because it's not going to stop. It just transfers. So we got to really watch our kids out here and watch our girl children. I mean, listen, they're going after the boys.
Extra.
They're going after the boys too. So we can't even just say the girl children.
Well, yeah, it's a different world, because it's things have. Yeah, it's just been very.
One dynasty goes down, the other one is just going to fix up.
Yeah, that's why you have to be real solid when it comes to your kids, because it's a different world.
Totally different.
But y'all, thank you for tuning in. We have a mic coming. So I know y'all were talking about a mic. Now, I did have a mic, but the only thing was my phone wasn't charged, so I couldn't plug the mic in.
We getting
it together. Let me know if y'all feel like this sound is better, because I know that a couple of people had said something about the sound. Yeah. So let us know what you think of this. And we will see you guys next week. See you Hopefully
later.
we'll got some Gypsy Rose tea, because it seemed like it's finna go down with her too.
Well, listen, we might have Diddy news. The way things is popping.
Child, Diddy and her, I'm telling you, 8 centimeters dilated.
It's moving real fast. So, never know.
They said 2024 is, that's it. That's the year, y'all.
This is it.
But thank you guys for watching, and we will see you guys soon. Bye-bye for now.
Bye.
Oh, honey, I am so not threatened by you. My man wouldn't touch you with a 10-foot pole. You're just mad because I have a Chad. And last time I checked, you don't have a man. So, looks like you're the one that's panini pressed. Oh, honey, I am so not threatened by you. My man wouldn't touch you with a 10-foot pole. You're just mad because I have a Chad. And
panini pressed!
You don't have a man. So, looks like you're the one that's panini pressed. Call a spade, honey. Keep making contact.
If pimping ain't right, I'ma stay wrong. I gotta stay pimping because my life is long.
Already said what he does for work. He works at a bar. He invited Nina to come for a drink.
Yeah, come, Nina. I will.
He doesn't have a girlfriend. He broke up with his girlfriend.
It's a mutual separation, but yes.
Excuse me, mutual separation.
Oh wow, how do y'all know her name?
Wait, who?
People know her name. I've seen
kidding?
her name.
X?
Yeah, they know my ex's name.
I didn't see that.
X's name. What?
Well, I saw it in the chat. Somebody knows.
Oh, wow. I didn't see that.
So weird.
Leave her alone, y'all.
Wow.
Okay.
Wait,
Is that it? Are we done?
I guess.
Well, I appreciate y'all coming up here. They want to know where your puppy is, for God's sake. Please answer that.
He's